We'll do roll call. I don't have to call. Oh, and Michael's here too.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. I have 4 o'clock by this one, so. Eva Boyce here. Michael Griffin. Michael Griffin.
Present.
Peter Splain.
Here.
Sue Polidora.
Here.
Sue Sterry. And online we have Dee Forte for us.
Here. Or
Yes.
somewhere.
Yeah, you are here. So what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, thank God.
You got it.
Yeah. Thank you. You're here. We can approve minutes from last month because we have a quorum. So have all of you had a chance to look at the minutes that were sent to you? If not, do you have a copy?
I do.
Do you want to read it?
No, very well written.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions about the minutes? Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Oh, I'll second.
Any discussion?
Who was the first?
Sue.
Okay, thank you.
Any discussion?
No, they look good, I thought.
Everyone in favor?
Aye. Yep.
Aye.
I did it right, guys.
Only took you 2 years.
Well, Suzanne's not here, so I have to really. Not that Barbara, I'm not, yes. All right, so we're on to the next thing. So we approve minutes. The 2023 project report, if you guys that looked at it real quick, if you can just pass it to somebody. There had been a rumor that one of our counselors wanted to cut $20,000 from the cemetery budget, the $40,000 in our CIP. So I created this document, gave it to it was put in the city packet for last, there was the 4th, it was, last Monday at the meeting. The counselors approved to accept this, and we got 2 or 3 really nice comments about how much work we've been doing. And surprise comments too, like, oh, you guys have been working. And they accepted the minutes, and we did not get the $20,000 taken out of our CIP funds, which was
Who proposed to take it out?
Andrew Bagley. So,
Good to know.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's another. Quickly, because he also advocated taking $150,000 out of security for the fire station. So I'm not sure where. So we joked and said the fire station's going to have to get Dalmatians in there as their home, because they have no security cameras around the building. So anyway, that's another committee. Cemetery tour by the Historic Society. I've been in touch with Emma from the cemetery, from the Historic Cemetery, their executive director. And she let me know that they have been talking about trying to get a cemetery tour in place. It's going, I guess there's discussion about it. It's going to go before their board. And then after that, she'll be in touch, and we'll be able to find out what cemetery and that. But it's not our project. It's going to be theirs, but she wanted to let us know.
Who is it again?
The Historic Society.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But will they want to know anything about what we've done, or we're just irrelevant?
We're not a part of anything at this point.
Okay. But they will
because
be
I
back
think,
with
didn't they
questions
have-
or something?
Well, didn't they have a tour a long, long time ago? No.
I have offered many times to do the tours
Right.
for the north, but
Well, somehow the cemeteries, not us specifically, but cemeteries have come on to their purview, and so they're talking about it, and she said she would get back to me and let me know what they're thinking about and what assistance that we could be if they needed any of our assistance. But that's just a great thing to hear, and that other people are thinking about us. So, and I will say, I think part of that comes from when I was on the archive committee. she and Strawberry Bank were also on it, Elizabeth Farish, and so they're well aware of us now, and so I think that's helpful. And I promote us as an outdoor archive, the cemeteries, and so it may get us some more attention and visibility in the city, which would be great. Update on Yellow Fever Project. Next Monday, the state is coming down and giving us a report. Corin will be there, and myself, and people from UNH, and the state archaeologist will be here. I'm not sure. I need to contact them and find out. I forgot to ask. It's been a big back and forth type of thing. I forgot to ask if it's a private report. Lots of times reports are given to the city and you can view them, but you can't have a copy of it. So I need to ask them if that's the case with this.
Yeah, I'd like to be there too.
Yeah,
That sounds very interesting.
he said that if there were one or two people on the committee that were interested, it was all right to come. So it's 1:30 on Monday in this room right here. So, but I just wanted to
Next
let you-
Monday?
Yep. I just wanted to let you know
Fine.
in advance that it may be not a secret, but just not a published report to give out to the
So they're not
community.
going to televise it or anything?
No, not that I know of right now. Well, and part of the reason is, I'm assuming is with other things in cemeteries, when information is released, then all of a sudden the freaky people come out and start looking around. I mean, I know this is about yellow fever right now, but who knows what kind of whatever. So sometimes I know the state, both Maine and New Hampshire, sort of guard their information. It's public, but it's not public. You know what I'm saying? So, but we'll find all of that out on Monday. So, so and anybody that, you're welcome if you want to come and listen, it'll be right here. So, and they made it sound like there may be more projects with them. So that's kind of cool too, to see what else they know about our cemeteries and want to poke around and find. So, update on Dinah Chase Whipple project. I'll pass these around. They're not. They look like they're faded, but that's the actual color of the stone, and the black didn't show up very well. So if there's 2 or 3. It hasn't. It's not definite. What has happened is Suzanne, I think you heard, tried to get a hold of the family and discuss the project with them.
Right.
But she's made it clear that there
I've
won't
got
be
that
any
online. Thank you.
city money involved to purchase the headstone in advance, that somebody or everybody needs to do some fundraising. Suzanne spoke to the woman from the Moffett Ladd House, and they're not, going to contribute to it at this point in time. So, and there is a celebration that weekend. There's something going on at the Moffett Ladd on Saturday. They're having a plant sale and something else, I'm not sure, but it involves Dinah somehow. And then on Sunday, there's a
What is the date? The dates?
18th and 19th, I believe, of
Yeah.
May.
Okay,
Is
May.
this an existing monument or one that was proposed to be made?
Proposed to be made.
Okay, and to go at that tree, at the horse chestnut?
No, Dinah, this is a different project. Dinah is buried, where the flag is on the hill.
Oh, okay.
On the side, as you're facing the left-hand side, sorry.
Prince, do you know where Prince Whipple is?
Yeah,
That's his wife.
okay.
So it will go right next to him. And we do know that there's good possibility she is buried there, because when they came and did the ground penetrating, the dirt had definitely been turned up underneath. So more than just like worms or whatever. It's definitely been churned up. So they wouldn't know for sure if there was a casket or not until they looked at it. But so, I don't know that I caught you. The family wants to put, and the Black Heritage Trail want to have some sort of commemorative headstone there. So now we're in the process of trying to decide who's going to pay for it, because the family did not offer.
But they said they would fundraise. Have they backed away from that?
I don't know, Suzanne and upstairs and somebody else tried to set up something and
Yeah.
have not been able to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Communication's been poor with them.
Dee, did you, what was the final price on this last, the headstone picture that I'm passing around?
So that is from Seacoast Memorials, and the price is $2,195.
Oh, that's not
So
bad.
I think pretty,
Yeah.
pretty reasonable.
And how fast did he say that
Fair.
he,
I have not gotten a commitment from them yet. I've asked them a couple times if they could make May, and haven't gotten a commitment. And, if I had the money to make a deposit, I would push a little harder. So, and I just wasn't sure where Suzanne would end up with the family, and
Right.
I think at this point we need to establish next steps.
how much do they want for a deposit?
She didn't tell me, which is, but again, I can push
That's
for that
like-
information. I'm assuming at least, 10%.
Is that Cyphers? Seacoast Memorial, you said?
Yeah, Seacoast Memorial.
Yeah, is that, no, that's not.
I've lost track of the ownership of the companies.
Who's the person, that's not Cyphers, is it?
No, it's not Cyphers. I've talked to Richard Cyphers. He happens to be on vacation down here where I am, which is interesting, but I know he would not be able to make the May date, but I can follow back up with him and see, what he's thinking for pricing. He hasn't given me
Anything,
a price, but the other two that I checked with, Richardson and Helstar, they were around 3,500, 4,000 installed. So Lisa at Seacoast has not, said that installation would be part of her price, but I think we might be able to get help from the city to do that anyway.
Yes,
Yeah.
Corin,
I would imagine so, yeah.
yeah, Corin had said the DPW could do it, because we're not going to put any base or anything on it, so it'll just go right into the ground like his
Right.
is.
What you see on that proof,
Yeah,
the majority of the bottom of that stone is going to be in the ground.
right, right. Could you push her to get a price, and then
Sure.
we could talk,
Deposit, yeah.
yeah, and see what, whose purse I can jangle for at least a deposit to get it going. I just wish the Black Heritage Trail would step up a little bit, but I don't know that anybody's even talked to them, do you? I mean, as far as for the headstone?
I haven't, but I am happy to send an email to, the two family members, and, we can see Valerie or not. The last communication we got from the family members, it seemed like they didn't want Valerie involved because she has too much going on right now.
Yeah,
So I'm happy to communicate back to the family and with what we've found and this proof, because, I kind of just came up with the inscription.
right.
Think, and what, that they would want it to look like Prince's, but I might be totally off.
No, I mean, I think that's a good idea, and the, shoot, what I was going to say. Yes, and do we, on that list, email list, is there a name of someone from the Black Heritage?
Tanya and Laura.
And And Laurel's the one that seems to be doing the most communicating. But I do want to
Right.
say, Dee, the day that I went down to Black Heritage Trail office, down on Court Street,
Yeah.
they were very, very nice, but it was very clearly, thanks for doing this, see ya. They were not interested in any way. They just wanted to hand me the folder and that was that. But I don't think it could hurt to communicate with them again, but they were not very forthcoming about wanting to be involved in any way.
I would think, if you don't mind, Dee, I mean, I should say to you guys first, I think we should contact the family, Black Heritage, Valerie Cunningham. She's not ill like she was a couple of years ago. And she doesn't have to, we're not asking her to partake, we are asking her to donate money. So, who else would we?
So maybe since Dee came up with a prototype, maybe showing them that there's a prototype would
Right.
get them to move a little bit.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, send the prototype, what the cost is.
Right.
The city
That's
is
what
not.
they're waiting for.
Right, city is not going to contribute money, but we will install it.
Okay.
And they can have a memorial service at the same time to get it started.
Yeah.
Do you think of anything else that would be a sort of push it? I mean, I would like to get it done in May too. If we can't, we can't, but.
I'll do that, and I'll send it, to the attention of Laurel and Tanya, and I'll CC Valerie, you, Sue, Eva, and Ren as well, just to get the conversation going.
Don't they have an executive director? I thought that Barbara Ward was an executive director there,
Of Black Heritage Trail?
the Black Heritage Trail.
Yeah, I think she still is.
Yeah, I mean, you should copy her as well.
And her email would be on the website, our Facebook page, Black Heritage Trail.
Okay.
Is this all right with all you guys? And I'm thinking, I'm going to talk to Joe Kelly and say, okay, who's the wealthiest, not the wealthiest, who do you know that would give us?
The most invested.
Right, and she knows all the, for lack of term, the hierarchy of who does what in town for like the Black African Bearing Trail and stuff like that. Because there's even one man I thought of there that works in a bank downtown who got assaulted. You got assaulted, can you? But I mean, it just makes me think that, there are a lot of people that we don't know here in town.
All
Might
it
be
would
interested.
take is to put a letter to the editor or an editorial in the paper saying that this is happening and they're seeking to have people to help fund it. I have no doubt that the people will come and fund it. So maybe Joe Kelly wants to write it herself. Say, this is what is happening. The family has come to us and we have this opportunity. We need $2,100. Donors are cheerfully welcome to participate. I'm sure that she will get the money she needs.
Let me check into that. Again, I'm only hesitating because I'm always worried about
Yeah, it
what
would
we
give
can.
the opportunity to highlight the trail and also the events for Diana Chase.
Yeah,
Whip.
and
So if she writes something, they will publish it, and she can put the appeal to have contributions in order to cover the cost.
cool.
It's an excellent thought.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. She'll go along with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And they would be recognized at the ceremony,
yeah.
Very good.
so that they get, because people like recognition.
Right, right. And she could check to see if we can do that. So, what city councilors can do and what we can do are two different things. No, I think it's a good idea. I'm glad we brainstormed it. So, any other suggestions or
What about
around
the-
this.
What about the Seacoast African Cultural down in the same building as the Portsmouth Historical
Well,
Society?
that's what we were talking about, the
Oh,
African
that's-
Trail, that's what it,
Oh, okay.
I think they
I know-
have 2 offices, right? Or,
I think that there is just that one, and they have different people managing it, but I'm not sure.
Sandy Clark was heading that up.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, Joe Kelly will know
Yeah.
the whole.
Yeah, just to avoid, this one doesn't want to do it, let's go to this one. Go to the public. The public has enough interest in this to be magnanimous about it.
Yeah, no, that would be, that's why we're brainstorming, that's why we have it. No, I never even thought of that, so I think that's great. So, yeah, I'll get in touch with Joe Kelly and see what we can turn up from that, so, okay. Update on straightening headstones. We got the okay from the state to go ahead and do that. Corin and I sat down and discussed it briefly. And correct me if I'm wrong, Corin, I talked to John Lord, who's helped us in other things. We wanted to think it would be a good idea to do a test run with a few people who are serious about doing it. Steve Buzzell's not here today. His wife is sick. So Steve's really gung-ho about it. Peter and maybe even Michael, if he's not too busy in his own cemeteries. You guys have so much work over there. To sort of do a test run with a couple different structures that we could use. And then once we're comfortable with it, then John Lord would come down and do a full-blown training. And he would also offer it to other cemeteries in the area. So that day it would be a big training for everybody. So John felt that April was the better month to do it. However, I did tell him that we don't seem to be having a terrible muddy season this year. But anyway, it would be less mud.
Do you know the
Every
first
place.
thing that came to mind when you said April will be a good time to do it? I said, I bet you we'll have the first snowstorm. 30 inches of snow.
Exactly. So that's on the list to get going. So when Corin, we'll keep track of the weather and just see how I guess April's as good as, well, we're halfway there. Yeah.
Not full of rain, yeah.
Yeah. So
Question, would that also include repair or just straightening?
to some degree, some repair, like if we were straightening up something that was broken, we could actually cement it and clamp it together at the same time. But I don't anticipate there's going to be a lot of repair at the same time we're just straightening headstones. Don't know. It's sort of like every stone's going to be different because some stones are going to have platforms, other stones are not going to have platforms or bases, and some stones are going to be down 20 feet, not 20, that's exaggeration, but I watched John bring one up that was a good 5.5 feet in the ground as well as the top. When he pulled out, it took 2 of them to put it in the car. So either somebody had some money or they just, whoever carved it, didn't want to be bothered to cut it, so.
Were you suggesting that John Lord would want to host multiple communities here and do one
He would
training?
open it up. So if he came down and did a display, showed us how to repair straighten the headstones, which is part of the state's requirement of us, he would let,
Other communities join at that time?
have them send 1 or 2 people maybe, or what have you.
Okay.
Because the New Hampshire Old Graveyard Associations, we're going to be in their magazine, their flyer they sent out. Our work at Hall Cemetery, I sent him 4 or 5 different pictures, so that goes out statewide. we're going to be one of the stories in the thing at how the city of Portsmouth was able to get an old Revolutionary cemetery uncovered and how we went about it. So that will get us more. I know I sound like a publicity hound, but I am. So it'll get us out there. Yeah, so he would come down, definitely train all the people here that want to be. And I know you had said maybe one or two of your guys might want to learn how to do it the proper way. And, there may be some other people that might come down that day too, so.
Susan, who is John Lord?
He's the secretary of New Hampshire Old Graveyard Association. And they work with the state a lot, and their primary focus is totally on restoring colonial revolutionary cemeteries. They don't work with new.
So their publication, is it on paper or is it just something else?
Go to New Hampshire Old Graveyard Association online, and there's copies on there, but
Okay.
they'll email it. It's like $10 to join the group for a year, and they work with a lot of smaller communities and small cemeteries and stuff like that. But so they've been watching what we're doing down here. Our name has come up more than once with smaller cities upstate, so,
There's no such a thing as too much publicity.
no, I know.
Maybe we should have.
I know. As long I want it to be good. I want it to be good. I don't want negative publicity.
As long as your name is spelled right, it's okay. You can always correct the record.
So that's in progress. Update on Hall Cemetery. I still haven't been able to make it up there between everything, but I'll let you tell them what your guys have done it in the last week or two.
Yeah, we went up and took all the leaves and debris and cut out all of the invasive shrubs and basically got it down to bare ground, filled all the holes. There is a ground cover in there. We're still trying to identify it. It's got to the leaves have to pop a little more, but
I forgot.
I think it would be great to let a ground cover go in there as
I
opposed.
agree.
Yeah, it'd be
Some type of ivory.
there's something there. I'm
Lily-
not sure if it's invasive.
Lily of the Valley, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we don't think it is, but we might let it pop a little more. So
Yeah.
let's not pull it out. It's fun. If it's a good ground cover, we should really encourage that to grow in there. 'Cause
Great.
That'll help it take over, and then the committee, when they have volunteer days, can just go in and do regular cleanups and kind of encourage that to spread more. And if it's an invasive, we'll have to try to go from there. But
You'll just have to
get a
monitor
ground
it.
cover started. But we might want to think about adding some ground cover too in areas that don't have it. So maybe we have a multiple ground cover.
Okay.
But we'll just have to watch that advance as spring comes. Things green up
With the canopy gone, it's going to change the dynamic.
so much. Yeah, I think you
so-
folks should plan on a couple days in there this summer because things are going to grow like crazy, and there's going to need to be some keeping up with the invasives that might pop back up.
Yeah.
And things like that. So.
Yeah. Pachysandra comes up to my mind. I remember how.
Yeah, I'd have to watch how sunny
can't
it is
kill
over
it.
there.
Yeah.
Pachysandra doesn't like full sunlight, but we'll see. I mean, I think we might have a ground cover there that looks
Yeah.
pretty pervasive, that we might be able to just keep encouraging it.
Great.
So,
Your guys, or you notice that there are a lot of headstones that were laying on the ground?
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot broken as well. So,
Yeah. But a lot laying on the
but
ground.
it looks so different. And I think Max had plans on going back at some point and cutting the stumps lower because so much debris came out.
Yeah.
There was this thick and leaves, and that now we'll go down and lower the stumps even more because we can't stump grind in there, obviously. So-
Right. Yeah.
But we'll get those lower so that they can rot slowly and just look better.
Yeah.
But it looks incredible up there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks
Yeah,
really
right.
nice.
Great.
Question,
Yeah.
but it's not about the whole cemetery. It's one of the graves in the North Cemetery, the one Woodbury Lane. There seems to be a shrub coming out from the side of it.
Okay, this is at North Cemetery?
Yeah. And it's to the point that it's moving the rocks. I sent her a picture of it. It's moving the stone out enough that you
Okay.
can actually look inside of the crypt.
When we go up there, you want to show me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we
cut something.
I think
Might have come
that may
back.
be it, yeah.
We might just have to
Yeah.
keep cutting it until it does.
I almost
Yeah,
want to see if I
certainly
can take a
check it out.
picture of the inside. See what is left.
I looked in there too, when I was up there with my son-in-law, who's a landscaper, and we were trying to peek in, but
You can't see
you
it?
can't see anything,
Yeah.
so. All right, so I do have a list of other things. I didn't know how long this would be. Celeste, I've been trying to work with Celeste to get her some names to put on the, that website she was talking about. I don't know if anybody else uses Yahoo, but the last month, mine has been awful. And I went online, and I guess they're blocking all kinds of things or making how you use it it's sporadic. So one day you can download pictures, other days you can't. There were a
We're
lot
better
of.
off with Gmail. Yahoo is like,
Well, yes, I'm starting to see that, but I've had Yahoo with this ad for like 20 years.
I know.
So anyway, I will get her more. I'm just going to download a bunch of them on a stick and just give that to her so she can get that up and going and over to.
Atlas Obscura.
Oh yeah, I got to write that down again. It just doesn't sound like a real name.
Well, I downloaded the app and I've used it. I'm starting to like look at places and say, and it's a pretty good app. I mean, some of the stuff is like, is obvious. Like, but some of it's, stuff that people might want to go to that don't want to see the obvious tourist things.
Yeah, and anybody can send her, if you've done any research on a headstone, you have a headstone in the information, you can
Atlas
definitely
Obscura.
send it to her. We just need to get a couple to her, and which I will, she has to run it by Monty, so that's on the top of the list for next week. Katie and the database, Katie at the library. We're almost there. There's still been some problems with our project being dropped for something else, but we are almost there. We have all our cemeteries are all totally ready to go on the database, and women from the DAR have done I think they did Sagamore, and somebody else is working on Harmony Grove, and then one of the librarians up there is working on what's the other one? Proprietors, sorry. So as soon as we get the database completed and taken all the glitches that are out of it, we have everything, or Katie has everything to download, and it can go up on the website. So hopefully it's going to get done in the next month. And one of the people that's overseeing is Kevin, who's sitting there listening to us. He's part of the project, so he's going to do a follow-up and see where the changes stand right now. But it's going to just be really cool. So, and a lot of people have started asking the library about it. So hopefully that will be up and running, because I know I could have used it about 100 times in the past month, looking up headstones and people and all that thing. Good news about the seawall at Union. Finally, the abutters have signed a right-of-way agreement. Were you copied on that?
Yeah, and I spoke to Christine the other day.
Oh, good. Well, why don't you update us then?
She worked with the property manager, and they've given permission to go ahead and do what we have to do. And DPW, after the project's complete, will plant a few shrubs there, probably next spring. So we have to go in and remove just a little bit of brush, make the opening just prior to the crew coming. We'll wait right to the last minute. They'll do the work, I have to remove the bench that's down there. We'll just temporarily take that out. Then we'll do any repair to the turf or anything like that, put the bench back, and then following spring, plant a few shrubs where that opening is created, and should be good to go. So, but they're totally fine with us going through there now.
And how long did Christine mention to you how long it might take to get permits?
We didn't talk about that.
I see.
Oh, yes, we did. What did she say? It's going to be a few months.
Yeah,
3 months? So it's going to be late summer, early fall, probably.
right. It's going to
By
be
the time
tight.
we're ready to go. That's what. Yeah, that's why I said we can't plant till spring, because if it's that late, we're not going to plant shrubs that late.
Yeah, and it's going to be tight for the deadline of
It's going to be close.
for our grant, but nobody's going to penalize us for
Yeah.
as long as it's in motion. So that's good news.
Excuse me, that's at Union Street?
No, Union Cemetery.
Oh, okay.
You'll know them all by
I know. I've learned so much
Yeah.
already.
North is here and Union is right next door.
Okay.
So, well, it's not sitting
One just
here,
kind of
but-
turns into the other. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good, so that was really good news, because we got lost in that shuffle. So there were other projects that were having a lot of issues. So, and it wasn't easy to negotiate with the abutters. They really
Where are
held
you
out.
coming in?
They're going to go around the back of the condo units, and there's just a little, you can see it when you go over there. There's just this faint opening, and I'm just going to open that up a little bit, and Christoph from
Aye.
Riverside can slip right in with his German machine that moves in 8 million different directions, and he said no problem. So, yeah, should
You
be
think
pretty
they-
straightforward.
You think they would donate to our fundraising?
Who? Let's just get the access and
I know.
call it good.
Gotta laugh about it. So yeah, that's really exciting. And it's, our other half is still moved into the outflow on that other side. That's gonna take place. So here's, our seawall's gonna be fixed, and then the part that's all dirt and eroding is gonna be part of another project. So we won't go back to the state and ask for any more money right now. I finally found the name of the person that did all the carving on the African burial ground and a couple other places in town. His name is Brett Elmore, and a lot of people around the area use him. He's out of town right now, but I sent him pictures of the wall at Cotton Cemetery. I sent him a picture of the inscription of proprietors. So when he gets back in a couple of weeks, we'll meet with him and find out how much it would cost to get Cotton Cemetery engraved on the granite over the doors that are right there. And
He did all the carving that's in all of the granite down there at ABG.
that was my understanding.
Great, yeah, that's perfect, because I need to talk to him about that, too.
Yeah.
'Cause that all needs to get repainted, and, okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So that's on the agenda. Andy Croto is working on the two big doors that need to be replaced at Cotton Cemetery, and he's meticulous. So all of it will definitely come together, I hope, by the end of the summer, so we can have another rededication of the cemetery. So I got him. I briefly spoke about fundraising. I think you all heard about it. I've gotten a name of 14 companies that surround North and Maple. I'm going to put a list, for lack of a better word right now, of all the different things that need to be done in those two cemeteries, North and Union, with an estimate of what those might cost. Then I'm going to present that to legal, and hopefully they'll agree with the whole plan that we can offer a non-permanent sign for 5 or 6 years up on there saying people who sponsored the restoration, and that will be for people for $5,000 and over. So, and then anybody that donates less, I would like to at least get them listed on our cemetery website. So if you donated less than $5,000, then you'll be put in on our webpage, and if you donate more, you'll go up on a sign, and that sign down there, I would definitely include a QR code. So I think we could then capture a lot of people that live down in that area, seeing that the buildings that surround them, they could QR code us and donate us $100 or whatever they want to do, or at least get in contact with somebody. So, does anybody else have any ideas to add to that right now? Or, because I'll bring it back here and show you guys before I submit it to the city or anything like that. But now that we've been here for 2.5 years, I think a serious commitment to fundraising needs to happen, because all the projects that are left are big projects. They're not signs and things like that. So I would even like to have enough money to hire people to come in and straighten and repair the headstones, or companies, so it's not on all volunteers. I mean, volunteers would still be used, but for $1,200 a day, a company comes in and with a crew of maybe 4 or 5 people and goes at it, we'd have to do it definitely more than once, but at least divide it up to get it done. So that's also a part of my thought process.
It's a brainstorm. You know how they're very popular these days. People putting padlocks on, like the fence over by the Prescott Park.
Yeah.
If we get something like that, but it's not a padlock, it's like a lightweight kind of commemorative things that you can hang on the fence, on the chain link fence. You can have a small one for anybody that donates $100, a medium one for someone that can donate $500, and we can put it in there along the fence to show that this person donated. The fence in the North Cemetery, chain link fence.
Well, I think ultimately we're talking about removing that fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be something there.
Well, there will be, but the city paid for an edge plan for that cemetery to take down the fence, take down all that stuff, and plant the proper kind of trees and shrubbery and all of that.
Well, the thing is that we can do it until that happens, and then everything can come down.
I mean, you'd have to run it by.
Legal, yeah.
It
Only-
just seems to be very popular. It's in Europe and in the Far East. Everybody likes to hang in
Yeah,
different
locks of
things
locks,
around
yeah.
the fence.
Love
Yeah.
locks. I love
So
I don't, let me put it down
if
on
you
the
can
thing.
make them that are light, like a light material, the logs that are over in Prescott Park, they're going to bring down that fence.
Well, they have to get removed. That's a
Yeah,
whole other topic.
eventually.
They're not supposed to be hanging them there, actually.
Yeah, I saw the pictures of the ones hanging in someplace in Europe.
Yeah.
And the fence is actually a very well reinforced area. It's not a plain old
Right.
chain link fence.
Right. The holdup on taking the fence down right now is, which is another Suzanne thing, they're trying, the city, the railroad, and what's his face? Which one?
Talking North
Grant-
Cemetery?
No, the Granite State. Who owns the Granite State?
Mahoney.
Mahoney, sorry, I didn't hear you. They're trying to get an agreement on an accepted boundary between the 3 places, because it's been, surveyed 10,000 times.
So we can do this for at least the next 10 years. And nobody,
No. It's getting much closer because they can't do the outfall until the boundary's been decided.
yeah,
I-
it's like government work, you know, you time it for 6
Great
months.
idea, poor location.
No, I mean, I'm writing it down, but I don't dismiss anything, but just to let you know, that is in the works. And the last time I asked Suzanne about 2 months ago, she said it was getting closer. And we all know that could mean yes or no because somebody's changing their mind. But we have to remember the greenway's coming down through there,
right.
which is also part of the pitch when we go asking for money, is from Bartlett Street right by the cemetery. The cemetery is going to be included in the greenway over across the street along North Mill Pond. They can't do any of that until they get a boundary, and that's been on schedule since 2019. So it's not, they're not, this isn't being done for the cemetery, that's for sure, but it's being done for the outfall project and for the greenway. So they have a really good chance, way better than we would, of finding out what the final deposition is of what the boundary is. And I don't, at this point, none of those three people or organizations, they just want to get it settled so everybody can move on, including Mahoney. He hasn't been the one that's put up a particular fight. It was more the other railroad company, is my understanding. But whoever, they're really trying to solve that issue. So let me write that down. Now, and I almost forgot, Suzanne came down here to ask. If you could just pass it down a couple. I've got another one you can pass down too. They're going to try to resurrect the Black Heritage, or what does it say at the top? I didn't get a chance to read it.
African Burying Ground.
The African Burying Ground Committee.
It's a Blue Ribbon Committee?
Is it Blue Ribbon?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mayor's Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, could you?
You're welcome.
The story behind this right now is it's not falling apart, but it's in pretty bad shape, and it needs to be repaired in a major way.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the Sankofa is working with Jerome Meadows now to come up with a solution for that. Also, the figures at the very end that have the plates. The plates, I mean, we have to re-glue those 4 or 5 times a year. So he's working on a system to rivet those in. The chip seal driveway needs to be redone. All of the carving that was done, the ribbon,
Yep.
that all needs to get repainted. None of it's cheap. So yeah, it's in need of maintenance for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
there's regular maintenance done, but there are
It's only
Major.
10
needs a
years old,
tune-up.
isn't it? How old is it?
I don't know. It's before. It has to be older than 10 or right about.
Right about 10.
12.
10. And the other thing is, also the remains haven't been put back in to that site, which is what what do they call it?
Sankofa.
Sankofa. So, and the
Like
tile.
sarcophagus?
Sarcophagus,
I don't know the root of the word. I don't believe so.
It's
Maybe.
probably an African term, I would assume.
It's a Roman word.
And the tile, they've been having a major issue with the tiles are popping off of that all the time too. They were the wrong tiles for this part of the world.
It's a word in the Twi language of Ghana meaning to retrieve, and also. Yeah. Not sure. I wasn't here when they decided what to call it, but.
Yeah, sarcophagus. It's a burial pit, essentially. Because it's my understanding it goes down
Oh, I
quite
see.
far. I don't believe it has a bottom to it.
Goes back to Ghana, where many people were taken, the Ivory Coast, where many people were taken for the slave trade.
And
I remember that playing Scrabble.
And it doesn't, someone had told me it doesn't have a bottom, like the above surface is it, but below it,
I don't know, I believe there's a,
Or a false
I don't know
floor?
what the structure looks like, but there is a structure under there.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all poured, I believe. at the
Oh,
time.
really?
And so that round cover is the cover to get into what I presume is like a tomb.
Okay, yeah. So, so I have been asked by two different people on this group to be the representative from the cemetery committee. However, it does not have to be me if somebody else wants to take on that, not a battle, but that issue going forward.
What's the objective again? To just fix it?
I'm not sure.
Probably to have a long-term committee that helps guide funds and maintenance issues that come up, so that there's a committee involved with decisions that get made about that place. It would be my
And people,
guess. It's an important space, so.
and the other thing is, it'll be open and they'll be recorded also. So I'm willing to do it, but I don't want to make you all feel like I'm the only one that can do it, so.
You'd be an excellent representative.
Yeah,
Certainly the logical person to do it.
yeah, it really makes sense.
Yeah, you can
No,
keep
I'm
us
good.
all informed.
I want to get the remains put back in the ground. So what Suzanne said we need is a motion and then a vote to have.
I would like to make a motion to have Susan Sterry be our designee to this Blue Ribbon Commission that's being formed to deal with the African burying ground.
Second.
No discussion. No discussion.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Yeah, just be aware, I might be grabbing you to help out with stuff, so. Cemetery, all right, so we still have a couple minutes left. Fundraising, the Sons of American Revolution, our march, they were trying to have a full-blown ceremony down at Maplewood, on Maplewood at North Cemetery. They don't know that they can do it now. We haven't been given any explanation other than, just no explanation that,
So is it a definite they're not doing it?
it's a definite they're not doing it. They had to go before, how we found out is, because it was going to be a big event with firearms and things like that, they had to go before the logistics committee to find out, do we need police and what have you. When they reached out, that's when he told them that it was definitely not going to be March, and he had no idea if and when it might be rescheduled. So there was, I think Barbara said, there was talk of Memorial Day,
Or the anniversary of,
the actual Memorial Day, maybe at the end of the summer, or actually in December 14th. That was my understanding, but
yeah, they just don't know yet.
So delayed,
Yes.
delayed.
likely to happen, not sure when.
Yeah. So, and it sounds like, and I did talk to emailed Ellen Brinker. She's the lady that represents the descendants of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. I talked to Corin and I emailed back to her. She wanted to know how to mount the plaque. It looks just like, I'm assuming, just like the one that's on William Whipple's grave. I sent her a picture and an email saying that we would like to mount it on the wall, the granite wall, next to her name, because there are 3 or 4 names above her in that tomb. So it would make sense to put it as close to where her name is on the granite. And she was very happy.
This is the plaque that you just brought over?
No.
No, this is another one.
This is another one.
The list of monuments grows. Okay.
Who is this one for?
The descendants of the Declaration of Independence.
Of the wives, the descendants of
Well,
the
it's not the
wives
one,
of.
well, no, the organization is the descendants of,
They have a plaque or they'll get the plaque?
they have the plaque and they will send it to us when they're ready to do it.
What's the name of the person now?
Oh, Eleanor Brinker, Brinker.
Where's it gonna go?
She's buried, Catherine Whipple's buried in Langdon's tomb.
I was looking for it. Catherine.
Okay.
So it will, on that white door that has all the names, we'll mount it next to her name, so people
Okay.
won't think that the whole tomb is hers,
So it's not very big then?
No, it's just like the one on Whipple's tomb, above
She's
ground
the only
tomb.
one?
This group is now doing the wives of the signers.
Right.
Yeah. They'll be here that, whenever they come up, we have one, Exeter has one, and then, I don't know if it's Belmont or Belknap. There's another one upstate. I can't remember the name of the person. We had 3 signers in the state of New Hampshire, so Whipple, Exeter, and this other place. So I think they'll do like, these people out of Massachusetts, they're national, so I don't know, but they'll have a little ceremony surrounding it, but there's no date that's been picked at this point, so.
Only 3 signers of the Constitution?
That live in New Hampshire.
No, the Declaration of
A
Independence.
declaration of it,
Well,
sorry.
You're confusing me.
We have 3 signers,
Of the Declaration of Independence.
right. And William Whipple is the signer.
Right.
Now they're doing the wives of the signer, putting a plaque next to their name.
The Constitution or the Declaration of Independence?
Declaration.
Langdon didn't sign the Declaration.
No, but that's where she's buried. She, in her tomb, Catherine Whipple. She's buried in Langdon's tomb because
understand.
she's, who?
A cousin or a relative of Elizabeth Langdon,
Okay.
the wife of John Langdon.
I think they're cousins, she was. So that's how she ended up there. So. I'm just,
That was a different time.
I'm just,
I was confused, I'm sorry.
no, that's okay. I just barely have it down now, too. And I'm waiting to see how many other organizations come flying out of at us. I mean, because we have the Whipples, we have
Yeah, it seems as though
everybody's,
we may have to talk about who, we can't put a plaque up potentially for every single thing that comes down the road, right? I mean,
no, and I think that's part of what Suzanne was talking about, that this committee should be developing guidelines on
Yeah.
things like that. She's handling that, Suzanne is, and getting some stuff down and then getting back to us with,
Just for the record, the Declaration of Independence, William Whipple, Josiah Bartlett, and Matthew Thornton signed
okay,
it for New
Josiah
Hampshire.
Bartlett, and he's the one that's upstate, right?
And I think probably Matthew Thornton is the one upstate.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, does anybody have
Is the
any?
plaque in place over there at the North Cemetery?
Which one? No.
no, I have to find a piece of stone.
Okay.
So I
We-
think I'm probably going to go up to Swenson and see if they have something that could go on.
You don't want to do a rock?
Everything we have is so big. I don't want a massive piece of stone out there.
Oh, no,
So I think I want to just take a run up there and talk to them or give them a call. They might be able to get us something that's like, cut more angular. So
Yeah.
the front's sloped, and then it's more of a triangle where it's rough cut with a smooth face, but not polished. And then we can mount the plaque to that face. Maybe just leaves enough border of granite around the plaque so that it frames it, but that isn't so massive that we could then just, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah,
So I just
yeah.
want to get a price from them to see,
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got pieces up there, so I live right near there. So I'm just going
Oh,
to grab
okay,
the plaque
yeah.
and take a run over there and talk to them and to see if there's something in the yard that
Very good.
we could work out.
No, seriously, we just got the plaque a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
so-
I told you they were paid.
Yes.
I spoke to
Yeah,
them
and he-
directly, and they're all set. We're all good.
Yeah, and Michael sent me an email. He goes,
Okay.
got the check.
Great.
Good, so. Got the check.
That's great.
Yeah, so I picked it up 2 weeks ago, I guess, and it looks just like it should, so it's in his court. Anybody have anything else to, do you want to take these with you?
You know, I was going to say I wanted to talk about the placards, but I was looking at the clock and I thought, I just wanted to, I'll take them, and yes, they are on my mind. And I know where I can bring them now, but I also know I can't bring them to a lot of places until May 1st.
That's fine.
But yeah,
Yep.
I'll take them because, well,
This is all we have right now, so.
I have
if-
some in my house.
So if you do like kind of a review too.
I'm going
then
to
we
go
can-
through, but I had some thoughts on additional ways to distribute them, but that can wait till next time, because I can't really do anything with them for a while anyhow.
Well, I'll make sure we
So
we put
maybe
it on
if
the
we put it
agenda.
on the agenda, then I
Yeah.
can share my thoughts.
Yeah, and the other thing is if you get a chance to do a survey and see how many are still out there and we engage.
I was
about-
in the library already, and I was at the chamber already.
Great.
So I've done that, and they can all use more.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
So that will be good. But, the big push will
Yeah.
come. I can
Starting
bring them
May.
to Strawberry Bank now. I can't bring them to Discovery yet. I can't bring them to the houses, but I'm aware of all that now.
Yeah.
But I still have some other ideas on how to get them out, which I
We
think
can
the
always
group,
do that.
Yeah,
some of them I probably wouldn't be able to do because
Fundraising.
yeah.
he wouldn't like it. But I've got thoughts anyhow.
I'll write it right down. All right, anything else real quick before we... I'm sure I overloaded your brains with... But these are all the things I put in that report, so I mean, we're traveling, so no question about it. All right, can I get a motion to...
Adjourn?
Yeah.
So move?
Wait a minute. First, who
You have to
made
make
the
a
motion?
She made a motion.
I can't.
No,
Oh, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Peter.
All in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
So to get my name.